Yo, what's up? Diggity check thyself, lest ye wreck thyself. This is Harrison, one of the hosts of the show, coming in at the beginning here. Just to let you know, you're listening to the first ever episode of the Tabletop Twats, right? And I've recorded this message to slip it in there at the beginning to let you know that this episode is of significantly lower quality than the rest of them. It improves over time, right? It improves over time. So this one, the audio quality kind of sucks. The editing's not as good as as the rest of them. It gets better later on, you know. So you are going to be dealing with some bad shit. But as you can hear now, my microphone sounds all right. But yeah, when it gets into it, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad stuff. It's not very good. So later on, you know, we tighten it up. It's better produced. The sound quality is better. You know, starting from about, I can't even remember, maybe episode 7. It's not to say that the humour gets any funnier. Oh no, that stays pretty low. But anyway, yeah, that's just a warning. You've been warned. Anyway, now you can listen to the pilot if you want. Bye.
Hello, Nikk.
Hello, Harrison.
Okay, so this is a new podcast that we're doing on the internet. Is that correct?
I believe so, yeah. And it's in its
this is about
day.
It's basically a podcast about tables and different types of table, materials of table. No, this is terrible. This isn't even funny. Sorry, man.
Start again. Of an ogre, it's me, Nikk, Lambley, Lamslice,
and me, Harrison Hunt, aka Sarah Butler. This is Tabletop Twats, and I'm here with Nikk, who is a twat.
Obviously, and I'm here with Harrison, who's also a massive twat.
Lovely. This is all about tabletop RPGs. We've got loads of different items coming up. We've got what we've been slaying, the main subject of the podcast, which is... this time, what is it, Nikk? Fuck's sake.
Yeah, that's really...
Turn your phone off.
Didn't even think about that. Great start.
We've got the main subject, which this podcast is...
how to... what it's called?
Get started with role-playing, man.
How to remember the name of the main fucking bit of the podcast. How to get into role-playing.
Yes, and then we've got some challenges, then we got RPG stories, and we're going to finish off with some listener questions. So,
without further ado,
let's begin.
Yeah? Would you say
This segment is about what we've been playing recently. It's not a very clever name.
No, it's work in progress. I like it.
Does the job.
Yeah. What are you slaying? So yeah, no, what? So yeah, what? Well, no, you need to ask me.
What you've been slaying?
Well, I'll tell you what.
That was so natural.
I'll tell you what I've been slaying. So at the moment, I'm currently running a Savage World zombie apocalypse campaign. It's my first one, and I'm absolutely loving it. The guys have managed, the twats, should I say, have managed to get out of the... yeah, they started off on a camping trip, and then, yeah, turned it upside down, and next thing I know, they was in a containment camp, and then they bust out of there, and
now zombies.
And now zombies everywhere, and they've just managed to get into the town. So it's pretty
decent, but
pretty good.
I was on an elevated platform, and thus I get a +1 on my javelin.
There is a problem though, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, the characters are always absolutely fantastic. But yeah, we've got to talk about Ernest.
Look, well, the thing about we got to talk about.
There's nothing wrong with Ernest. That's the thing.
Look, he's not a paedophile.
He's not a paedophile at all.
But he is a Cub Scout leader that's routinely mistaken for a paedophile
because of the way he talks and his upbringing. Because I think he still lives with his mum, if I remember rightly.
He's a bit of a weird one.
Bless him though. Yeah, and he's. And we've also got, so Ryan is Ernest, and we've also got Sean, which is Harrison's brother, who's playing a
child. So
we've got a good dynamic going on there.
Exactly.
But he's not a paedophile.
He's not a paedophile
at all.
So don't. Why are you saying paedophile? I didn't say paedophile.
You started it.
Main subject. Main subject. Sorry.
So this is the main subject, and this week the main subject is, Nikk?
Well, we've got to start off at the beginning, haven't we?
How to get started with role-playing games. So first off, we need to explain
to all the people that
don't know, what is an
What's
RPG
going on?
and how do you play one?
Exactly.
An RPG is basically a system where players can make their own characters with their own stats and play a game and play through a story which is orchestrated by a dungeon master or game master. And they can do anything they want in this story and affect things in numerous ways.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. And the actual mechanics of playing it.
So the mechanics of the game is dice-based.
And the DM will say something like, okay, he'll
Let's do an example. The easiest way to do it.
Yeah, so the DM will be like, okay, you come to a fiery chasm. What do you want to do?
And I say, right, so Punchy Punchface wants to, is going to just, he thinks, yeah, fuck it, I can do this. And he's going to run over and he's going to try and jump it.
So then Nick's told a part of the story. So what I would say is now roll for your athletic skill or something like that. And then he rolls and then that roll determines whether or not he's successful, and you basically play through a story like that.
So there'd be an amount. So there'd be a number that the GM or DM knows that is a success, and if the player rolls to that, then it happens. Depending, game specific, but generally that's what it is. And if it's below it, it's a failure. And he doesn't do it, he falls down the hole.
And he doesn't do it, he falls down the hole, or you do it and you continue with the mission.
Yes.
It's nice and simple. It's actually a lot less complicated than a lot of people think, basically.
My name's Alan Rickman, and I'm
My name's also Alan Rickman.
I'm the real Alan Rickman.
No, wait, I'm Alan Rickman. But I'm not. No, wait.
No,
what?
no, I'm Alan
No,
Rickman.
shush. I'm Tabletop Twats.
But so let's say, for instance, you want to play one of these games, right?
Yeah.
You either want to create a world or you want to be part of it.
You've listened to this podcast, you think, do you know what?
That sounds
them
good.
twats might not.
Maybe they're
know
not such. Maybe they're not such massive twats after all. Maybe they're good
If
guys.
they're bumming RPG.
And also, they sound handsome. If you're thinking
Listen,
that,
yeah, it's true. You just think, do you know what? Why not?
yeah. Well,
Let's try
then
it.
what you need to do is you need to find a group to play with. Now, a lot of people will go online, find a group there,
Yep.
or you can
play online. That's a whole nother world in itself, and we'll talk about that another time. But yeah,
But you just need to find like-minded individuals.
Yes.
Now, a lot of people want to get their friends to play, and maybe your friends are reluctant. But the fact of the matter is that the reason I think a lot of people are reluctant is because they think it's all fantasy, dressing up as knights and that kind of thing.
and shyness, right? Got to be.
And shyness too.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't want to do it for that reason. But the thing I think is that you need to find a system that your mates will like. So when I met you,
And there's so much out there. Yeah.
when I met you guys, I
Yeah.
did a Call of Cthulhu campaign, which is like a 1920s paranormal investigation type thing.
Horror. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. It's
And I
out
knew
there. It's
you'd be
great.
into that.
Yeah, absolutely right. It's horror. It's scary. There's comedy, obviously, but at the same time, there's generally some messed up stuff going on, and it's great. And the whole game revolves around rolling sanity to see if you can actually keep your mind in one piece going through all this, which is fantastic.
And so it's such a great idea that I knew the guys would be into it.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to scare them off by having this, mazes and monsters type game.
Yeah.
And as a result, that's the one that I picked, and now we play.
I mean, we didn't touch fantasy until the third game change, I think.
Third campaign, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean.
So it's not fantasy. It's not all about fantasy at all.
I'm an orc chieftain.
No, fuck, that's awful.
Me too.
No, that's racist. So you found a group of people, right? And they're like, yeah, I want to play. Yeah, I want to do that, right?
I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
Sounds like bollocks, but I'll try it.
Every person, be it the DM or the players, will need to buy a set of dice.
Yes.
And Nick?
Oh yes, dice. One of the best parts of RPG, in my opinion. I think I've developed a bit of an issue with buying dice. Luckily, they're very inexpensive.
You used to come home from work, have a few tins of weak lager,
Get on the old diceshop.com.
into computer.
And before you know it, I've bought 3 sets of dice. But I mean, it came to about 15 quid tops, and they're lovely. They are.
The thing is, you don't need to do that. You don't need to go mad. You just need one set of dice, which
Yeah.
contains the following: a 4-sided, 6-sided, 8-sided, 10-sided, and 12-sided dice.
We should explain what these mean, to be fair.
Oh yeah, when
Because
you
we're gonna say
refer
it a
to
lot.
it, when you refer to a dice and the amount of sides, instead of saying I roll a 12-sided dice, you say I'm rolling a D12.
Right, but yeah, it's where would you find them? What would you type
So
in first?
if you go into Amazon, just type in RPG dice, and you'll get a set of them. You can pick one set up for about a £5.
I mean, less than that, really.
You can share them, of course, but don't bother. Yeah, just buy your own set of dice for
Would you say if you're going to... Sorry to interrupt. Would you say if you're going to be DMing, maybe buy 2 sets?
Maybe. But it's not entirely necessary.
Tabletop Twats. I can't do it.
Yeah, so if you're the guy who's gathering the group up, you're probably going to have to be the DM.
Yeah.
Because other players, typically the other players want an easy time of it, and they don't
if
want
you're trying to sell it in the first place, you're not then going to turn around and go, oh, and by the way, you've then got to run it. It's a bit much, isn't it?
Exactly.
If you're going to get someone involved, and to be fair, it's going to be. I mean, some people might not be up for it.
Exactly, but
put them as a player. Let them just experience it first.
Because then they get to enjoy the simple fun of creating a character and playing the game, whilst you get into the rules.
Because you want to really get into it, and you're the one that started it. So,
exactly.
Yeah, so you understand it for the game.
So you're probably going to have to be the DM. So what does that mean?
Or GM.
Yeah, or GM. So that means that what you're going to have to do is read through the rule book, right? And it will seem daunting, but you can have a lot of fun.
Skim over it.
Yeah, I mean,
there'd be a games master section.
Yeah, just put a bit. The things you need to read first of all are going to be how to create a character, so you can help the guys create a character, and then how to use skills and how to fight. That's pretty much the basics you need to know. And if you want, you can start on that and just add the other rules in later.
Absolutely.
But a lot of these games...
and like I said, it doesn't matter what system you want to get in. I mean, people that have never listened to this before will probably be like, oh, well, where shall I start? So the game I'm running and GMing for the first time is Savage Worlds, which is a very easy system. The tagline's fast, furious and fun. And you can go onto the website, which is... we'll post it at the bottom.
We'll post it in the comments.
Pig. I'll post it.
Pig.
Inc. I'll double check it. I've got it. It's so amateur.
Don't go to pig.inc.
No, this is so amateur. I should have written this down. But anyway, you can get free. What would you call it? Light, boiled down to the bone.
Pretty
rules,
much
just to get you by, really, isn't it? Just to get a game going.
Exactly, and pretty much every system out there will have a light version of the rules that's like 5 pages long on their website.
PDF.
With some, pre-made characters, and you can just start straight away with that and
take them straight out, give them to the players. They don't even have to, if they're a bit like, oh, I don't know what kind of character I want to be, or backstory, or things like that. Don't worry about it. Just a lot of these they come with what they called archetypes.
Yeah, exactly.
And they come straight out of the game. It's like, okay, you're going to be the muscle man, and you might be the nurse, and they've got their stats already done.
It's weird that you picked a muscle man and a nurse there.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, 2 extremes, really, isn't it? I suppose.
2 delicious extremes. So just get the light rules, read them, and play a few games like that.
Have a go.
My name's also Alan Rickman.
No, I'm the real Alan Rickman.
No, wait, I'm Alan Rickman.
To summarise, what you got to do is find like-minded individuals, or find a game that your friends will like.
Yeah.
Then buy dice. Then be prepared to be the dungeon master for the first campaign.
Absolutely.
I guarantee you people are going to want to do it after they've seen how great your story is.
Yeah.
They'll have a story they want to tell, and they'll take over. So you will be able to be a player eventually. So don't worry about that.
Yeah, I mean, with us personally, with the Twats, we, I wouldn't even have, when I first played and was a player, I wouldn't have dreamed of being a DM first of all, or a GM.
But now you have.
Now I'm actually running my own game. Yeah,
another guy from the group has.
Your brother's done one. Yeah, and Harrison's done it. So it's and then obviously now we're on a rotation because everyone's got so into it. They think, I can do a game, I can do a campaign, and you can. Anybody can. It's great.
Exactly, but if you don't want to draw all your own maps, come up with your own story. There's another way to do it.
Yes.
What is that way, Nick?
By doing it.
Say the way.
What?
Do what?
The thing.
What's the way?
What?
Say the way. Can you not remember the way?
The what way?
You've forgotten the way, man.
Shit.
Never forget the way. Pre-made modules.
Yes. So the way is pre-made modules, which is so like what I'm doing at the moment, because as a player I've had quite a lot of experience, nearly 2 years now. I get you get a grasp of what RPG it is, so I'm confident enough to be able to write my own story. It might be a bit shit, I don't know, but
no, it's alright.
It's
serviceable. That's the job. It's got zombies.
It's alright. Got tons of zombies in it. Biters in this campaign. But I thought I'd give it a go. But even if you're thinking, right, I've got to be the GM, but what the fuck do I write? I don't know what to write. How can I write a game and a story that people are going to enjoy and get involved in and that? All you need to do is go to the people that make these and just get a pre-written module.
Often if you have a game like Savage Worlds or Call of Cthulhu, you can go on their website. That's going to be nice for everyone listening. So enjoy that. So you can go onto the website of the games, and they'll have pre-made adventures that you can play that come with maps and the whole story lined out. Will even say if the players do this, and it will tell you what to do. Makes it much simpler. You can find a lot of free ones online that people have made.
What do we call it?
What
do we call stuff that we make that the fans of the interweb make?
But they're not our fans.
No, not our fans. Just fans of RPGs. I mean,
Did we have a name for it?
No, not me. Not with us. Div. Homebrews.
For fuck's sake, man. But you said what we called it. I thought that we...
Oh, no, I'm talking about a collective group of RPGs in the world. So, homebrews.
RPGers.
Because if we're going to use slang, we need to explain to everybody what they mean.
Yes.
So, that's called a homebrew.
A homebrew campaign, and...
Some of them, they've written it themselves.
Yeah, they've written it themselves, and some of them are of really high quality.
Great,
and the first module that I ever used that I got from the internet was about an owlbear nest.
Oh wow!
It was as awesome as it sounds. Next segment.
Next bit.
So this
simple.
This part of the podcast is called Next Bit, and what it is we're now going to do games and challenges. So I've got a challenge for Nick. It's called Dragon or Blaggin. And basically what I've got here is a advanced D&D original rulebook from, okay, it doesn't say, but I think the 80s.
Wow.
And
it looks old, I've got to say. It's lovely, but
what I'm going
it's
to
a very
do
old looking book.
is I've made up a bunch of shit about it, and I've got some questions for you, and you have to figure out, did this actually come from this original book, or did I make it up?
It's just come out your ass.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, question 1. Okay, so in Advanced D&D, each level of a character, when you level up, has a different name. So it goes like Novice, Beginner, Advanced, and they vary depending on which class you play. So the first question is, what is the name of a top-level monk in Advanced D&D? Okay, is it 1, Master of Chi, 2, Grandmaster of Punchery, 3, Grandmaster Flash, 4, Grandmaster of Flowers.
As much as I want it to be Grandmaster Flash, because that would be absolutely fantastic, I think it's going to be Grandmaster Chi.
You're actually wrong.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
No way.
The original name for a top-level monk in Advanced D&D was Grandmaster of Flowers.
No, fuck off! I thought that was the stupidest one out of all of them.
Yeah, I was thinking that I don't know. It was fucking weird,
Grandmaster of Flowers. So don't mess with him. He's the Grandmaster of. He's
exactly.
So in his garden.
The top level in AD&D is 20, right?
Right.
So that means a level 4 is a relatively low level, right? And you have spellcasters in D&D, so the spells at level 4 shouldn't be that powerful.
Right.
But my question is this: clerics in D&D have a level 4 spell that makes an entire hallucinatory forest, and everyone that interacts with it is, for all intents and purposes, a real forest. Is this true or false? And that's a 4th level spell.
Mind forest at level 4, right?
An entire, yeah.
A level 4? Nah, no way.
You're wrong again, man.
Oh, for fuck's sake, you tell I haven't
It's
played
actually
D&D
true, man.
before. You're telling me at level 4 you can just create a whole forest that people can interact with?
That is literally real. And
jeez.
It's fucked up.
Bollocks.
The funny thing is that, yeah, because back in the day, Advanced D&D wasn't balanced at all.
Yeah, I'm kidding.
So,
Fucking hell. What do you
next
do
up-
at level 12?
I don't know, man.
Oh, I don't
Creating an entire hallucinatory...
new game itself.
It's like, you cast the spell and it's like, okay, we're now playing Monopoly.
Yeah, you're like, what the fuck? And then Monopoly comes out and it's just like, yeah, if you look in the rules, you can actually do that.
You can actually see it says Monopoly
and then
right
the whole
there.
game has to stop for the rest of the night. Fuck that. Oh, man. I'm glad we're
Fuck that, I'm not playing Monopoly.
Yeah, I'm not going near or D&D.
You got angry about that for a minute.
Maybe you have to try and sell me D&D because it's one of the games I haven't played yet, and it's meant to be the one. You know, not be funny.
It's the typical one.
It's the stigmatised one. Everyone thinks, you know, role playing. Oh, Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, I even called it D&D, even though we've never played D&D.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to play play D&D tonight, or is D&D on tonight? And
we
I've never played it. It sounds like shit.
well, Pathfinder's better for fantasy
Pathfinder,
anyway.
yeah.
But okay,
Pathfinder's amazing.
so next question is one of these character names is a name I actually used for a character once in my early days.
Here we go.
Which one is the real one?
Okay.
Okay. Is it A, Blake Kneeguard, B, Punchface Jones, C, Dr. Chudwumper, or 4, Fuckenstein's Monster?
Can I have them? Can I have B again?
Punchface Jones,
And C?
Dr. Chudwumper.
I'm going B. Punchface Jones.
Correct.
Yes! Come on! 1.
Yeah, that was an orc barbarian called Punchface Jones.
That's what I was like, smash face. That's what I said.
Yeah, you actually said that earlier. I was like, it was so close.
Okay, yeah, that's weird.
It's very, very close. But yeah, so
Probably would have admitted that's because that's what I would have called one.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, back in the early days,
Yeah.
you would have been like, my
Smash,
character's
smash,
called.
smash.
I'm making a wizard. He's called Devon.
Oh, damn.
Okay, last question. This is true or false. In the original white box version
Right.
of D&D before Advanced D&D, there were so many arguments about about how to split treasure that they included a section in the player's handbook of the next edition detailing how to split treasure.
I definitely think that's true.
You're right.
Yeah, definitely, because loot rage.
I've got it.
People get so peeved about that. It's unreal. The saddest thing of it all is that people get pissed off about like shit that don't exist. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, man. But you've been there.
But yeah,
you've been there.
Don't get me wrong. As a player, though, I mean,
You've had times where your character's died or been hurt in some way, and it's ruined your day.
Oh, mate,
So you're saying the people get annoyed about things that don't exist? You do it.
True. I'm totally for it. What was it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's true, actually. Yeah, I mean, like a couple of times I've missed a sesh, and you guys just wound me up and said that Roland had died, and I was just generally like, I'm if he's
Yeah,
dead,
we
I'm
messaged-
so angry.
We messaged Nick from on WhatsApp. We have a WhatsApp group for our D&D group, and we messaged him on there and told him that his character had died while he was away, and he got genuinely annoyed to the point where he couldn't type the word "what"
Yeah.
and spell it right, so
Yes.
it came up as "wust."
Oh, yeah.
Nick, your character's died. Wust.
It's the only time in life you could do what the hell you want. So yeah, so in games like Pathfinder and well, just any role-playing games really, your character's a hero. You know, tougher than most people. You're hearing the stories about you, so they can take a hell of a lot of damage and still get up. But how much damage can you actually take? So I'm just going to give you a punch in the face and see.
Well, so I have to take a punch in the face.
Yes. And that's it. To see if your toughness thing is out.
Alright.
Ready?
Yeah, go.
Alright, okay.
Gather around now for the fireside tale.
So what's Fireside Tales all about?
It is. We're going to tell stories from our RPG experiences.
Okay, so my story is. So I suppose better tell the system and stuff first.
Well, I would say describe the setting and
Okay.
the character.
Picture this, if you will. The party is on an adventure for something, and we come across a small little house out in the middle of the forest, if I remember rightly, or in the woods. And there's some log fire burning, there's some smoke coming out the chimney and whatnot. We walk over to the thing, and everything's quite nice and calm and everything. And so one of the twats, the character was Rex the Axe Baxter. Absolute meathead, amazing character.
This was in a fantasy campaign as well, and he was basically a wrestler.
Yeah, your
Like a
brother,
kung
your
fu.
brother's character,
Yeah.
amazing.
Rex the Axe Baxter.
Yes. So anyway, here's another little tip. So he just wanted to not. I think he was pretty beaten up and quite hungry, and in need of shelter. And that's me opening the beer, by the way. And gets the memory juices flowing, and so he just wanted to knock on the door, didn't he? And hopefully we could get in there. Anyway, so he had to roll strength to see how hard he would knock on the door. So he rolled his dice, and because he has such a high strength anyway, with him being a martial artist and a fighter and whatnot, he pretty much put his hand straight through the door and just smashed a clean hole straight through it. And then obviously the people inside the house were so scared by us that they hid and wouldn't open the door. So another character, another twat, Ryan, whose character was the amazing Colin. What was it? I can't remember. He had a surname, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't.
Just Big Colin.
Yeah.
Big Colin of Gnome. He thought it'd be a good idea to fire an arrow into the hull to make himself known, and actually shot one of the guys inside. I think it was a cobalt.
Yeah.
If I remember rightly. Shot him clean in the shoulder. So that's one way to say hello to people when you're turning up. Then they broke the door down and entered, and were told to get out pretty much, not before the gnome decided to rub his face in the potato dauphinoise that they'd been cooking that night. Yeah, that went down well.
That was classic. It was so good. My story is a little bit different. It's about playing RPGs at work, and basically what I did back in the day when I was working at a tech support job is that we all had these like shared whiteboards. It was like Microsoft Paint, yeah, exactly. And it was like Microsoft Paint, and you could go on there and draw on it, and all the other people would see. So I got the rules for the Fallout RPG.
So you can just pick it up.
Nice and easy. It's for free. Yeah, whole PDF book. It's awesome. Brilliant. But we were playing that at work, and I made like a sort of simplified version of the rules, because they'd never played before. And it was and I played with two guys at work using this whiteboard system with our character sheets on it, and it was Dave and Ryan. And basically, we were all typing on the chat on this little whiteboard thing and playing a D&D game, and they all had dice on their tables and stuff. It was awesome. And it was based in the Fallout universe. And what happened was there was a character in the game that was based on one of our colleagues. And this colleague was called Dana, and he was like a New York American guy, like about as typical as you could possibly get.
The actual New York stereotype.
Exactly.
Talking brilliant.
Yeah.
Working in Croydon.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
And they were cruising around with this with Dana in the game, and he was helping them with some stuff. But Ryan's character and the Dana character that I'd made had a disagreement, and Ryan was going to shoot him with this giant gun, and the gun would wipe out not only Dana but also the other player.
Oh, wow.
And he forced the other character to kill him, or he would kill Dave. He said, right, now you're going to have to kill Dana or I'm going to fire the gun.
He became that guy.
Exactly. And he said, you're both going to die. So Dave had to do it or he was going to die, so he stabbed the Dana character. And
Dave?
Yeah, and then everyone got... And then
Ryan, you bastard!
And then Dave got really, really depressed because he really liked that character.
No.
And then he...
I can sympathise with that. I know what it's like to lose a character.
Exactly.
Really like.
And he was having a go at Ryan constantly, and he was like, "Oh, Ryan, I can't believe you made me kill Dana."
In real life?
Yeah, in real life. They started talking about it, and Dana was behind us in an office, and they were talking about him, like, "I can't believe you killed him," and they were having this heated argument, and I could see Ryan was his face was like going redder and redder, and he was getting angry, and then suddenly he stands up and shouts in the office so Dana could hear it, "Why is everyone having a fucking go at me because I killed Dana? I didn't fucking kill Dana, you killed him." And he went, "I'm going for a fag," and he just stormed out of the office.
And you don't work there anymore.
No,
for you.
It's funny that, isn't it?
Yeah, weird.
But we managed, though, over a course of a couple of weeks to play that game for at least 8 hours a day at work.
Wow.
It was fucking amazing.
In the future, you will be able to send a letter from anywhere on the planet. This is the future. This is the Electro Letter.
Now this part of the show is where we answer questions from our listeners.
Although we don't have any yet.
We don't have any yet, but thank you. So thank you for everybody that's bothered to like.
We got
this
30
stupidness.
34
we're
likes.
up to. Let's have a quick.
I just want to say to anyone that has liked the page, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah, come on.
Come on, mate. Get a life, nerd.
Nerd of that. We got 38 likes now, man. So yeah, no, honestly, thank you very much, everybody.
Good. So the first question comes from Craig
Istid. First question. I think he's a bit of a fanboy, to be fair. He's come straight
of a podcast
in with.
That doesn't exist yet.
Yeah, well, yeah, but bless him, he loves it. He said his question was, how do your wives and girlfriends feel about your second lives, and do they ever ask you to roleplay your characters in the bedroom?
Thing is, right. Well, okay. So when he says Second Life, he's referring to our role-playing games, obviously.
Characters, I suppose.
Thing is, right, is that in all seriousness,
Yeah.
I think both of our wives are pretty cool with it.
Yeah.
But they're just happy that basically that we're out of the house once a week
Yeah.
and that we're doing something sort of productive, I guess.
Yeah. And shuts us up a bit.
But I have known people whose wives are really not happy with it.
Yeah.
And I won't say who he is, but I know a guy whose missus literally, whenever RPGs are brought up in front of other people, she goes, "Oh, he's such a fucking dick," and like puts him down for it, man. For real.
Sucks.
So don't be that. If you're a girlfriend and you're listening, grow up.
Yeah, because to be honest with you, when I first was going to tell my wife that,
When you were first coming out as
as an RPG.
oh, an RPG, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Right, not.
Do you know? It's just like, I don't know. Yeah, I was a bit nervous really because I was like, how's she going to react? But she was pretty cool. Ooh, yes.
Have you ever had to roll? Have you had to ever?
Have you? Oh,
are you do? Yeah.
Do you? We've all got a bit shy about it. Have you ever role played your character in the bedroom? So when he says in the bedroom,
Does he mean literally while I'm standing in the bedroom?
Does he mean up groin?
What do you mean?
Well, or does it just
Butt
mean
sex.
like whatever?
During butt sex?
Shush! My mum might be listening to this.
Yeah, she
And
knows.
yours.
Yeah, but your mum knows all about it, man.
Shut up.
She's a sexy lady. Sorry.
Cut that out.
No, it's not coming out. But the thing is, what were we saying? No, I haven't.
No.
And you're immature for having suggested it, Craig. Don't ever listen again.
TableTopTwats.
Okay, David Gainsborough.
David Gainsborough, yeah. David Gainsborough. Baby Gaines.
The big game.
Big game money.
Big game Dane.
Big game Dane, yeah, good.
He says, is it true cannibals don't eat clowns because they taste funny? Now, listen, Dave. The game.
Dane, the game.
Don't ever send us a message again.
Yeah, man.
And don't listen.
Yeah.
No, actually, sorry.
Do listen. No, do listen.
No, please listen. Please listen.
We need you all to listen.
Honestly. And then the guy that owned it had a pet baboon.
Next question is from a good mate of mine, Darren Banks, and he's asked, I've got a question. How the fuck does D&D work? I don't understand it. Is this the stuff you will be talking about? Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
We are talking about that. But as we described before, D&D is like a sort of catch-all term for playing RPGs.
Yes.
So I think we've already talked about how RPGs work at the beginning of the fucking thing. So we don't really need to answer this question.
I mean, I still call it D&D now to the wife.
Yeah, exactly. Because
I've never actually played D&D. It's just a generic term for role playing, I suppose, because it was the first game.
We have played fantasy type games. We've played Pathfinder, but we've never played actual D&D together. I have. I've played Advanced D&D and 4th Edition D&D, both of which are a bit shit.
We'll do a podcast on that.
Yeah, exactly. But the fact of the matter is I've never played. Well, with this group, we don't play normally.
We've left D&D alone. Yeah, we've played. So far to date, we've played Call of Cthulhu, which is what we started on, and it's a great system. It's really simple, scary. If you like horror,
yeah,
it's good.
And it's based on H.P. Lovecraft's Call of Cthulhu, so it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, exactly. So
and then we played Pathfinder, which is like fantasy. It's your typical D&D type stuff.
But it's fun. Yeah, like I said, I've never played D&D. It was my first time playing fantasy, and it was a good laugh. That's when we called.
It was one of the better campaigns.
Yeah, it's great. It's a night. You use a really fun dice, which is a D20.
And then we could play the next one we played. The next one we played was GURPS, which is made by Steve Jackson.
Do you want to say what it means? GURPS stands for? Because everyone's going GURPS. What the fuck does that mean?
The thing is, well, GURPS is a great system because it stands for Generic Universal Role Playing System.
Yes,
which I think is a fucking terrible name because it's like Spoonie said. Most people see that and they go, "Oh, I don't want to play something generic."
Generic. What?
But the strength lies in the fact that you can use it to do any type of game. Anyone. We just wrapped up doing a space opera sci-fi type game.
Wow, yeah.
And it was fucking awesome.
Epic game, yeah.
And now we're on Savage Worlds doing a zombie campaign.
Bring it back to real life, modern day, which is you can go anywhere.
Alright, so next question.
Yeah. Well, here's the next question.
Do we have more questions?
No, I think that's it. Oh, hold on.
So we had 3 questions.
Yeah, we just had another question come in. Tim, a good friend of mine, Tim Schultz, he's asked, how did this come about? Question mark. I didn't think Nikk was the D&D type. So, define the D&D type.
Well, look, it's easy to say that there isn't a D&D type.
Yeah, exactly.
But there is.
Yeah, all right.
You got to be a bit.
You're talking cliches now.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying.
You're talking specky glasses, fat bloke, still lives at home with his mum.
Listen, man, you shouldn't be so down on yourself.
No, I don't wear glasses anymore. Well, I try to. But no, but it's. Well, that's what I mean. Exactly that.
No, but the thing is, okay, look, it can be anyone because my super hot wife played it in the past and stuff. But you know, they come in all shapes and forms. But I think you do need to be a little bit nerdy to enjoy something like this.
You've just got to be able to just let go.
But the thing is, people obviously then your mate Tim doesn't perceive you as being the nerdy type, so you're a closet nerd.
Well, there you go. So, well, maybe we can invite Tim to a one shot.
But you know, the funny thing is that actually, when we first started playing, do you remember what James said to you and Ryan?
No, go on.
James is another guy from our group, and he said said to Nick and Ryan, the guy from my story earlier, he said to the two of them that he expected big fat nerdlingers, and he was really surprised.
Because he hadn't met us before, had he? So he didn't know what we was going to turn up looking like.
And he thought you were going to be massive fatties.
Nerdlingers. Yeah.
So what's the next question?
Yeah, and I think that's it, mate.
So we only had 4 questions.
Yeah, I think so.
Step up, guys.
Yeah.
38 likes.
Come on, ask a question. Ask anything. What did you have for dinner today? I'll answer that.
I'll answer it. I'll answer anything.
Dinner's being cooked right now, actually, so we'll find out.
Please, yes. Ask questions next time, or never listen again. One of the two. I've got to stop saying that.
No,
do
don't
listen.
say that. Do listen.
Please. We really need it. So that brings us to the end then.
Is that everything? Yeah, you have to forgive us if the first episode's shit, but it will get better.
Hopefully. Or worse.
Yeah.
I think it'll get better or worse.
No, it's going to be good, man.
It might get worse.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people who like the page out of sympathy for me.
Yeah, we're sorry.
We'll listen to the first episode and be like, I told you a load of bollocks. And
yeah.
But that's fine. Thanks for the like. And anyone who generally is interested in RPGing, yeah.
So let's say, for instance, you've listened to this podcast and you think those men sound intelligent, wise,
know what they're talking about.
great guys,
Really good, great voices.
good muscles.
Good. If you could see the muscles in here.
Yeah, then, and you want to get in touch with us, how do, Nick?
How do? Well, you
Well,
can...
Nick's phone number is
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm giving it out.
You can contact us on the Facebook group that magically appeared today.
So that is...
And I badgered everyone to like. Sorry about that.
Cheers, likers.
Thank you, everybody.
So that's facebook.com/tabletopT.
Tabletop, yes, that's
They wouldn't
right.
allow me to have twats on there.
So, well, we're on Twitter as well today, just on that, which is TabletopTwats.
At TabletopTwats.
TabletopTwats.
Nice.
Got it. All one word, obviously.
Or you can email us on tabletoptwats@gmail.com.
It is com, isn't it?
Yes.
Cool.
So get in touch. You have any questions?
And there's a Google Plus page going up as well. We'll probably put shit on there. There's pretty good for... To be honest, Google Plus is a very, very good place for RPGing, and we'll probably do another podcast on that because there's a lot
online
over
communities.
There. Yeah, communities are great. And there's, like I said, there's a lot of people out there now, and it's... we'll talk about it again later, but it's great. So, well, I think we've talked enough shit for now. Had enough beers.
I haven't.
We could talk about this forever, but we're...
Right, so thanks everyone for listening.
Yeah, thank you guys. If you've made it this far, then wow.
We could say anything we want now.
Yeah, no one's listening.
No one's listening at this point. Alright, I'm going to say a really bad word then.
Go on then.
No, okay, I'll cut that out. I'm going to cut that out.
You can't put that in.